So the first thing I need to do is I need to verify that I have an order to complete a catheterization. I do. The next thing I need to do is determine if my patient is going to be able to cooperate. I need to determine if my patient is able to get in a sideline position or a supine position. I need to determine my patient's last time they voided and see if I need to collect a specimen for my order. I don't. So the next thing I'm going to do is walk in the room, wash my hands, don gloves, adjust the bed to my height and put him in supine position. Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm going to be your nurse today. Can you give me your first name, last name, date of birth? Okay, Mr. Green. Okay. And I see that you have an allergy to milk. Do you have any other allergies I need to be made aware of? Anything to latex or betadine? No? Okay, perfect. We compare that with our order, make sure that we have the right patient. We've got him in the supine position. So I'm going to be performing a catheterization on you today. I'm going to be inserting a Foley catheter. I'm going to insert it into your urethra, up into your bladder. Okay, it's going to be a little uncomfortable. I'm going to create a sterile field here, so I'm going to need you to keep your hands away from the sterile field, okay? Have you ever had a catheter before? No? Okay. Do you have any questions for me? No? Okay. So the next thing I need to do is he's comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and provide for privacy. I'm going to go ahead and undress you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I put the blankets down here. And Mr. Green is actually female, so oh. Yeah, we did make sure that get him in the right position. Okay. Okay, I make sure that I have adequate lighting. I'm going to observe for any valve distension. Does not have any. At this point, I would do a bladder scan per hospital policy to see how much urine he has in his bladder or her bladder. Okay. We would make sure that he or she could provide perinatal care. If he needs assistance, then I would offer assistance. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and undress you now, okay? We place a chuck pad underneath them, and we are going to take those gloves off, wash our hands. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the expiration date for our package. We're going to check the integrity of the packages, make sure that it is still sterile. We're going to do the same thing to our gloves. Make sure that we check the expiration date, that they're dry and still considered sterile. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to create a trash can. This is nothing like it started. Making sure that we keep a 1-inch border. I'm going to make sure that my cuff side is down, that I know where the left and the right hand glove is. Let's start from the top first. Okay, so I'm going to go under the cuff, pull it open like a door. I need to glove my dominant hand first, so I'm going to grab it with my non-dominant hand as close to the cuff as possible. Making sure that I don't go above my shoulders or below my waist. I need to make sure that I step back. Obviously I wouldn't do this. So then I need to get my thumb away from it, get my 4 fingers, come in to the side. probably put our movement watch as well. Then now we can go in under our cuff here and pull this. Okay, so we're good here. We can come back to our syrup fill. Now that we have gloves, we can manipulate the packaging. Making sure that we keep our 1-inch border. We don't need this. Right? What is that? Okay. So if this wasn't allergic to betadine, I would pour the betadine into the cotton balls. Whatever using that. I would pour the petroleum jelly into the siding here, but we're not going to be using that. Do you have? Yeah. Can you throw that into my syrup, please? Thank you. Let's open these. Stick them in here. Then we need this. This would normally have a little packaging on it. I would go ahead and remove that next. Okay, but I remove that next, and then we can go ahead and move our sterile film. Oh, this is way harder. Okay, so we would go ahead and perform perineal care. Once we put our hand down, it stays. I would ask for jelly now. Did you get it? Okay. I'm just gonna. Okay, but if for a male it would be 7 inches. For a female it would be 2 to 4 inches. Okay, we would ask them to take a deep breath.
Does it need to move?
It's a little harder, but I got it. And we are going to descend this until we see urine. And then we are going to go another 1 inch. Okay. We are going to inflate our balloon.
Do you guys have a question?
Now that it's inflated, I can release. Okay. Give it a little tug until we see where this is. Okay. Now we are done with the sterile part. If my gloves were dirty, I take them off, change them, but we're good. I would obviously throw this away, but we're going to need that later to remove it. Okay. Do you have the strap again?
Yep.
Oh, I put it in my pocket. Never mind. Okay, so this needs to be attached to the non-movable part of the bed. It needs to go below the bladder so that gravity can do its thing. We've strapped it, we've hung it, we're good there. We go ahead and provide perineal care, making sure that we pat dry. We would dispose of all of our supplies. Okay. I would take these off the way we normally do it, but I won't be able to pre-practice with them.
You never watch on those things, though.
Okay, we take those gloves off, we wash our hands. We've already provided perineal care. We're going to make sure that they're comfortable, that we position her back and tuck her in. We will go and do an ongoing assessment of our patient to make sure that we come back to check to make sure that there is no obstructions to the catheter. We're also going to be measuring their fluid coming out of the catheter, the color, odor, consistency, and amount. We need to return every 2 to 4 hours to assess them, their urine. And then we need to measure the catheter size, the catheter type that we placed, and the time that we placed it. So, ball it down, ball light within reach, side rail up, and then we'll have to do the removal. Okay, so before we do removal, we need to make sure that we have an order to discontinue the catheter. We have an order. So same thing, come in, wash my hands, don gloves, make sure that I have the right patients. So can you give me your first and last name, date of birth? Okay, Mr. Green. So today we're going to be removing your catheter. My name is Jennifer. I'm going to be your nurse today. We're going to go ahead and get it removed for you so that you can urinate properly. Again, we're going to position him or her comfortably. Sorry, I practice with a male like a million times. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and undress you now, okay? Sure that we have this out of the way. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and position you. Okay, we're going to make sure that we place the check pad underneath our patient. I'm going to go ahead and undress you now, okay? So the first thing that before we can remove the catheter is we need to make sure that we run all the urine that's in the tubing down into our bag. We are going to dump this out and measure the color, odor, consistency, and amount after we empty it. Then we need to unstrap him or her. So the next thing, we have gathered our supplies with our 10 ml syringe and our chuck pad that we've already placed. We need to deflate the balloon. We make sure that we get the entirety of the 10 ml. So now that we've deflated the balloon, we're going to ask them to take a deep breath. And then we're going to pull. Okay. Then that would be in the chuck pad. We'd wrap all of that up and discard. Okay. We are going to make sure that we provide perineal care for her. Let's go ahead and place her in a comfortable position. Instruct her to drink plenty of fluids and that her call light is right here to give you a call anytime she feels the need to urinate, because you need to document the time of the first urination. We will also need to document any fluid intake that she's received. We need to document the color, odor, consistency, and amount of her first urination, the time of the first urination. We will return to reassess and offer her a bedpan every 2 to 4 hours. And if after 8 hours she still has not urinated, we'll need to contact the provider. We need to take our gloves off, wash our hands, lower the bed. All lights within reach. Make sure that we did the documentation that I mentioned earlier. And we're done.
you get a cinnamon thing? Cinnamon
No,
beans?
I didn't.
That's the only thing.
I only noticed one more thing that was really good. Tension on the urinary